rockers, welcome back to Music Mashup. Today I have Sam Owak here to talk about the most iconic musicians to have blessed us with their music. Hashtag bless up. Our four top iconic artists are the Beatles, Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra, and Garth Brooks. We asked you guys on Twitter and we are going to discuss some of these artists. So Sam, thank you for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
The result of our Twitter poll was, in first place, with 39% of the votes, is the Beatles. Second place, with 34% of the votes, is Frank Sinatra. And third place, with 25% of the votes, is Michael Jackson. And in fourth place, with 2% of the votes, is Garth Brooks. Would you agree with these standings?
I kind of agree with these standings. Let's see. I mean, they're all right, you know. I might have switched out some people, but you know, we'll get to that.
We'll start with the top three first. Beatles, Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra. Iconic people.
Yes.
Garth Brooks is a surprise to me.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather go George Strait. That's just me, though. But yeah, I mean, those top three are pretty solid. I don't think you could. I mean, there's a couple other artists like you could put like Elvis in there maybe, but like the top three, and I agree with most of the placement. I love Frankie. I love Michael Jackson. The Beatles are my favorite band. If you saw the show last season, I talked about the Beatles a lot. But I don't know. I like who they picked for this.
Except for George Strait.
Except, yeah, I wish he would have been on there.
We don't have a lot of George Strait heads that are following us on Twitter.
No, so that might be a good thing. We have like one.
Okay, which is you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Of course.
If we were to put these artists in order, who would be in last place?
I'm going to agree with Twitter on this. I like Garth Brooks in last. I love Garth Brooks. He's a good, very talented musician. But, you know, he kind of fell off the face of the earth for like 10 years or so. And I think that kind of hurt his legacy a little bit, not too much, but I definitely agree with Twitter on that.
I'm very new to country. What's a song by Garth Brooks?
Oh my gosh.
You don't have to sing it.
I've got friends in low places.
Okay.
So a lot of people at bars, if you go to the bars, you sing that, and it's classic.
Great.
Yeah.
And how about your third vote?
Third, I'd put Frank Sinatra. I like Frank a lot, but I mean when you go out to the bar, I mean when you go out to the bars, you don't hear the Beatles, but I mean you don't really hear Frank Sinatra either, but you still hear
True.
Michael Jackson. I mean he's still a lot of people are very, very influenced by Michael Jackson, so I'd put Frank Sinatra below.
Just before we go to the silver, I want to say that Frank Sinatra, if we're talking iconic,
oh yeah,
he made the fedora, he made the
did.
classy guy.
He was a Renaissance
the big
man.
club singer.
He could sing, he could act, dance. You know, I think he won an Oscar for acting. So the man could do it all. The man could really do it all.
Obviously,
for sure.
So who was your second vote between MJ and the Beatles?
Michael Jackson's number two. Michael Jackson's number two. King of pop. You know, he's done a lot with the music industry. He danced all over our, you know, moonwalked into our hearts, and I think figuratively and literally. In his songs, like you can go to the bar and still hear Billie Jean playing, and people are still dancing around to like it just came out like 10 years ago, you know.
And he had a lot of allegations and issues, and it's sad that his death brought upon what a following he had.
Oh yeah. Well, and then they came out with an album of unreleased stuff and like remixed stuff with popular artists today. So like Justin Timberlake did a song with them, I guess, and they, you know, I think he had the hologram treatment that Tupac had. So I mean, yeah, love it or hate it, you know. He had that, so I think that speaks for itself.
Understandable, definitely. And so I'll let you say the first person,
so
or the first group.
Yeah, the group. This feels like it's cheating a little bit since there's four people in the band, but the Beatles I think are the most iconic artists. I'll put an S at the end. Most influential band I think of all time. Iconic.
I agree too. Do you go by the songs, how many hits they have, or how much they sold? There's so many ways you can go about the Beatles being the most iconic. Yeah,
I mean, the 60s was a different time in the world. There's a lot of racial diversity. There's a lot of problems going on with wars, and the Beatles really preached love and unity at a time when it wasn't broadcasted enough. So you can go by that. You can go by their music, how they changed a lot of different styles. Like they created the 16-track system, or whatever, and did a lot of stuff with that. They got away from touring, went into the studio, and just hashed things out that people never heard before. And a lot of people have tried emulating it and have successfully done it, taken what they've done and make it better too. So, but it all started with the Beatles, I feel like.
Definitely, and they only had like a 10-year
Yeah,
lifespan?
like about 8 to 10 years.
Bandspan,
Yeah,
is that what it's
Bandspan. Yeah, Bandspan. They did #Bandspan. They had about 8 years, and then they broke up, and then.
And how many genres or types of music they covered? That's
Oh,
why
I know.
think they're really iconic.
It's very wide. Yeah.
Definitely. So is there anybody you would add to the list of iconic artists that weren't mentioned? Here's your chance to complain.
Vanilla Ice. No, I'm just kidding. No, no. I think Elvis Presley would be a good one. Bob Marley, who's more than just smoking. You know, he did a lot more than that. Who else? I had somebody else. I really like Pink Floyd. I think Pink Floyd was very they changed the psychedelic genre.
Nothing sounds like them.
Nothing
it's
sounds
crazy.
like them, and they're very successful. So
Yeah.
I think those were.
I was personally thinking, top of my head, Bob Dylan.
Bob
is
Dylan.
always up there.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, for some reason, I know they're not iconic, but every song sounds
They're
like
pretty
they were
iconic.
just made.
They're pretty
Those
good.
riffs are
They were
awesome.
huge in the 70s, absolutely
Definitely.
huge, and it's a shame that their career got cut short because of the death of their drummer. So
Yeah, they all quit. They were
Yeah,
like,
they're
we're a four-piece. We're
yeah,
done. We're out
done,
of there.
done.
Well, great. You heard it here. The most iconic artist of all time is the Beatles, according to our expert, Sam Owak. You heard our opinions, so we want to hear what you have to say. Is there an artist we should be focusing more on? Do you not agree with us at all? Let us know on Twitter at IRB TV. Up next, we have Cody Parks filling in for Jasmine Crespo with Check This Out.